Hi, I'm Nick Skelsey here with HackCville Media, and we're here to interview Dale Dougherty. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah. So, can you take a moment to describe the maker movement and really what your role in it is?
Well, the maker movement is really a widely distributed sort of grassroots self-organizing kind of thing that people who identify as makers or want to be makers kind of get together and start doing things. I started Make Magazine about 11 years ago and sort of gave the name Maker and started through our events, which came about 10 years ago, called Maker Faire, a way to sort of identify and bring those makers together so that they can learn from each other and share their work. But I think at the heart of it, I sort of define a maker as someone just has a project and they want to share it with other people.
Cool. And so you started Make Magazine 11 years ago, but you're still involved in producing these Maker Fairs, right? We had two in Charlottesville over the last 2 years, and you've gone to Cairo and you've gone
a number of places.
Check it out. So do you find yourself sort of having to self-start these things? Or?
No, well, we kind of produce ourselves two of the large events in New York and California, and most of the others are done with partners or someone in any town can decide they want to do a Maker Faire and launch it. We kind of have them go through a process and vet them a bit to make sure they know what they're doing a bit. But the majority of fairs, and there were 131 in 2014, are small. They could be at schools or libraries, and they could be in small towns anywhere.
And the goal here is really to give science, technology, engineering, math, like that background, sort of an outlet, right? Is that what you see?
I think it's to celebrate those things, that people do, but it's also art. I think at the root of it, it's celebrating how people learn, particularly on their own, and what they love to do. Makers are enthusiasts, and they're passionate about what they want to do, and it's great to meet those people because they are kind of infectious.
I had a good friend of mine tell me that Maker Fairs are basically science fairs with less sort of that
structure.
homework.
Yeah. They're meant to be fun. It's to, we don't say, hey, it has to be this or that, but it really is a combination of like art fairs and science fairs and county fairs where people bring stuff that they do and talk about it.
Cool. I mean, do you see, I guess on a more serious note, do you see people, I mean, obviously this works in America, right? And I've seen your TED Talk, saying that we are all makers, right? But do you see when you take these things overseas, do you see that same quality and that same sort of drive? And
I think it's not only basically human, it's also basic to human culture to create and make. And I think people are even in other countries sometimes even more proud of it than we are. So in Italy, Maker Faire Rome is we have about 70,000 people there, and that's about our third largest fair and largest in Europe. And Tokyo and Japan and China are 30 or 40,000 people coming out in the first couple of years for those fairs.
I had no idea that was that big.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So where do you see it going?
Well, I kind of think on like next month I've got to do a Maker Faire for a lot of people in the Bay Area, and then we're doing a national Maker Faire in Washington, D.C. in June. I don't know. I think it's still early days in this, even though we've been doing it a long time. But there's a lot of people who go, "What is this? I've never heard of it." And so we're trying to reach more people and engage them, encourage them to participate and do something, particularly in our community.
And I guess when you say do something, right? Are you talking produce, or are you talking
go? Yeah, I think at its heart it invites us to see ourselves as producers, not just consumers. So what do you like to do? Not just go out and buy something. And I don't care if it's like cooking food or gardening or woodworking or electronics, robots. All these things are sort of things we do to be active and enjoy. And it gets us to share with other people what we know and what we like to do.
Yeah, and that is like, that's sort of the hobbyist, but almost a social hobbyist, right?
Yeah, but I think we also see out of those people start businesses, particularly small businesses. They can make something and sell it, and it's kind of exciting to be able to do that. The other thing I think is influencing, if not transforming, education is something that's much more hands-on for kids. So if we want more kids into science and technology, it's not going to happen by throwing more textbooks at them.
Yeah, I can completely agree with that. Right. And so do you guys partner with schools to sort of get that done? Yeah,
we try to, mostly we're trying to, just get them to participate, on their own, connect to each other, start something, start a maker space in a school. I was here in Charlottesville visiting elementary, middle, and high schools yesterday, and this city has a lot going on here that's really positive about shaping education in a more integrated, interdisciplinary, and interactive ways.
Yeah, and I think they have a fair amount, they have a good base to do it from. But it's I think Albemarle County did the 2 Maker Fairs around here, though.
Yeah.
That were great.
Well, they've done some small ones, and I think there's one other person that does one outside the schools, but I don't know all the details.
Yeah. So I guess it kind of does transition into what you're going to be talking about today, in the sense that, I guess you could describe it probably better than I could.
Yeah. Well, some of it I am going to describe my visits yesterday to some of the schools, and I think that's important. I think but I try to give people just a broader context for what's going on here today. What the Maker movement is, and sort of what it means, and what it's good, what it's doing.
Cool. And do you view that sort of, like that, right? That advocacy that you're doing, is that sort of, evangelism, right? Like that term is.
Yeah, it's mission. It's really. In some ways, I think my goal is to get everybody to identify themselves as a maker and to act on that in meaningful ways, to, personally get satisfaction from this, to do something with other people, and eventually maybe to do something for other people that's meaningful. But I just want to make it personal. It's something that we all can do, not just, a few of us will do it. It's something sort of that all of us can do it, yeah.
Do you see, though, then, there are sort of high technology things that have made this a little more accessible, right? Like the Arduino came out, and it was, because it was translated.
Yeah. All that, standardized components to build things are what we're seeing. It allows you to think about your problem and then find rather cheap technologies like sensors and Arduinos. There's easier ways to build things today than there were 10 years ago. And this also means more people can do this. A lot of it's moving some of the hard parts into software, and that makes it easier for more people to use.
Yeah. So then, we've already gone over that it's more than just that technology. It's more than just the digital realm. I don't know. It's exciting because there's so much there, right? It seems like this is a movement that's growing, and it seems like, hey, this is hey, get up and get out there, America, and go build some stuff. And I guess personally, right? Do you have tinkering? Are you still tinkering? Are you still producing stuff?
Yeah. Not so much. I'm not so much an engineering type person, but gardening, making food, making wine, making beer, making bread or cheese, things like that.
So, do you have any advice for students about how they should approach this whole space, founding yourself?
Sure. I think the main thing is if you have a good idea, act on it. I don't even know. You don't even know if it's a good idea, but don't put it off. Don't say, I'll do this, in the summer, I'll do this, when I get out of college, or I'll do this after I, leave this job I have. I think you have to act on it. And it doesn't mean you'll be successful, but acting on it will mean something to you. And you have to build on that. You'll probably fail a number of times. But you'll kind of find out if you like doing that, and if you're resilient enough to go through the hard parts, right, and keep going. And I think for most people, they just need to discover if this is something. I'm talking about more on the entrepreneurial side, but is this something they feel good about? Do they love the freedom they have? Do they like the challenge it presents to them? Are they up to the task of learning about how to do this? So you don't know. Like, someone's not going to give you an aptitude test and say you could do this. I don't think, anyway. So you just have to step out and do it.
Give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.